these cipher profiles, again, added in 944, 954, 960. There are 4 of them out of the box: default, FIPS, common criteria, and CSFC. And the intent is for there to be a range of least restrictive to most restrictive. What you see here is a profile, and then all the services for that profile will have certain settings. And there's some difference depending on which orchestrator you're looking at. If you're looking at a 944, 954, 960, 95 brings in SNMP, and 96 brings in the cluster feature. But the other thing that you notice when you look at these, where you see ECOS in parentheses, this profile only applies to EdgeConnect. If it doesn't have that, it applies to both EdgeConnect and orchestrator, and that's TLS and certificates. For each service, sometimes just editing the profile or activating the profile is good enough, like SSH. I don't have to go back to the CLI. I don't have to pre-edit. Just do the profile and you're done. For tunnels, unfortunately, that's not the case. I need to edit the tunnel settings. I need to edit the third-party settings. I need to edit any manual tunnels before applying the profile. The validation button only checks for certificate validation. So if you've established a bunch of certificates of a certain cryptographic signing algorithm, then you change the profile, those certificates become invalid. So when you hit the certify or validate button, it does check that your certificates will remain valid so I can maintain my orchestrator communications. It doesn't stop you from applying the profile, but it does tell you if you do this, you're going to brick everything. What happens when I have a mixed mode in the network? I update my orchestrator to 944, 954, 960, but I have a mixed batch of EdgeConnect appliances in my network. The answer is it will not apply the profiles to any EdgeConnect appliance before 944 or 954. What we'll do is we'll navigate configuration. You'll see what's new. So this end entity certificates came in 942. The cipher settings came in 944. I click on that, and you see my default, CSFC, FIPS, common criteria, and a couple of ones that we've cloned and modified. So what can I do from here? I can go to View, and remember in 9.6 and 9.5, you'll see some extra boxes. These are my services. TLS has these groups, key exchange, algorithm, hash function. So you can edit at the entire cipher string level, or you can edit at the function level. Because this is a default setting, I can't edit this. I try to drag this over, just not letting me do anything. So just to get you familiar with the windows, these are TLS settings, apply to both orchestrator and EdgeConnect. Tunnel settings, everything's checked. So when you go migrate to 944 or to 954 from some prior setting, you don't have to worry about tunnels going down because the default tunnel settings lets you select everything. TLS, though, is a different story. Some of the ciphers that were enabled on TLS are no longer enabled by default when you go to these new releases. So tunnels, everything's checked. SSH, most of these are checked by default, except for SSH RSA. HMAC SHA-1, SHA-196 are unchecked. Certificates, we'll get into this when we customize it. And NTP authentication SHA-2, 256, 384, 512 are all enabled. We cloned the default. Let's take a look at this one. So I made a comment. Clone the default test tunnel cipher settings to disallow SHA-1, AES CBC 128, Diffie-Hellman groups 1, 2, 5, and 14. So if I do the view, I'm going to jump right to tunnels. You can see SHA-1's disabled. By the way, I still can't, I have to go into edit if I want to edit this. So when you look at this, it's grayed. If I go to edit, I can edit these checkboxes. So I'm not going to make any edits. So we'll just cancel this. I'm going to hit validate. Remember, validate says that my certificates that are installed, orchestrator or EdgeConnect, manually installed, and entity certificates match. The main purpose of this validate from a management plane perspective. So we don't want to require a stronger cipher profile in your certificate signing, then not be able to communicate to orchestrator if I make a mistake. If I make a mistake with tunnels, tunnels are going to go down, but I can back out. We validate, I'm going to activate. When you activate changing cipher profile effect service, we recommend doing this during a maintenance window. Thou shalt perform validation and cipher profile, ensure that all current settings comply. It is recommended to test this in your lab. Must restart orchestrator service manual to apply all profile changes. So what I suspect we're going to see here is these little numbers right here, the alarm counts are going to go up. And I'm going to go to my tunnels tab. Tunnels are down. Bad cipher suite. Why are the MPLS tunnels down? Let's take a look at that. Tunnel settings, MPLS. SHA-1. Yeah, so everybody's using SHA-1. Nobody's happy. Tunnels are dropped because our requirements were if the existing services do not meet the new cipher requirements, they drop. In this simple network, I only have an MPLS1 and an INET1 label. So I'm only using 2 labels. But when I go to orchestrator tunnel settings, I've got 6 labels. And you might say, oh, I need to get myself out of this jam. Let me fix just the MPLS1 and INET1 labels. The answer is that's not going to work. Because it's going to say, oh, you've got LTE tunnel settings with the wrong invalid parameters. You've got INET2 tunnel settings with invalid parameters. So you literally, when you go to edit this, you can edit multiple labels and hit save and fix them all. But if you have 20 labels defined and you're only using 2, you have to fix 20. So good news is you can change multiple labels at one time. Bad news is you can't change 1 or 2 labels at a time. So the easiest way to get out of this jam for now is to go back to cipher settings, and I'm just going to validate default and activate 5791 and get myself out of the jam by just backing out and going back to the default. So the lesson learned is check your tunnel configurations and other certificate configurations before applying the certificate profile to make sure that when you apply it, everything's going to be green.